Councillors, tonight I'll be reading the prayer and acknowledgement of the local Indigenous people. Almighty God, we humbly beseech you to bestow your blessings upon the Council and to direct and prosper our deliberations to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of Randwick and Australia. Amen.
Amen.
I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the land of the Bidjigal and the Gadigal people who occupied the Sydney coast. Being the traditional owners, on behalf of Randwick City Council, I acknowledge and pay my respects to the elders both past and present, and to any Aboriginal people in attendance today. I call for apologies or leave of absence. Okay, so we have no apologies. Do I have a mover?
Move that one, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Luxford and a seconder.
I'll second it. I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All those in favour say aye.
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 Are there any declarations? You might know the people nominated. Anyway. So there is a privacy warning because we are doing it online. So the privacy warning reads, in respect to the Privacy and Personal Information Protection Act, members of the public are advised that these proceedings of this meeting will be recorded for the purposes of clause 5.23 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice. Audio video recording of meetings is prohibited without permission. A person may be expelled from the meeting by having used an audio video recorder without the express authority of the Council. So now, councillors, I present to you Mayoral Minute MM 34/21, which is my speech. So good evening, everyone. And it's hard to believe that we've had 2 full years pass since we've been together, and we'll be voting for the next Mayor and Deputy Mayor of Randwick. And I suppose if anyone had to put money on it, that the year would be extended into 2, you would have, knowing that there would have been another global pandemic, you would have made a mozza. So those years have flown by and we've packed a lot into them. I'm sure Councillor Veach will agree with me that this has truly been an honour to serve you as Mayor and Deputy Mayor of Randwick City Council during this extraordinary time. I'll get to say my thanks shortly, but I did want to say that thank you to all my fellow councillors for how you wonderfully, you have each represented your constituents during this pandemic. I'd also like to say I am incredibly grateful to the support of my family, Kim, Nicola, Joel and Christian, and given me such great encouragement and understanding throughout the past 2 years. Their love and support has always allowed me to serve this community undeservedly. Though this time has been rough, I don't need to tell you all that it's been a tough time and it's getting tougher, but we should see the light at the end of the tunnel very soon. We're all going through some same major adjustments and the highs and the lows, the frustrations, the grief and the confusion. But as councillors, we have been able to put it all that aside and offer practical financial support to those who needed it. We've seen where there is a need within the community and we've moved quickly to provide it. I'm thinking specifically of things like the pop-up pedal parks at Coogee and Clovelly, keeping lights on at sports fields so people can exercise safely at night, packing food hampers alongside Addy Road for residents in need. And these quick actions, and there are many, many more that I could mention, have allowed us to lift some of the heavy burden on lockdowns from some of our residents' shoulders. I'd also like to thank staff for their positivity, patience, adaptability and continued hard work, because without them, our vision of Randwick would not have been possible. Being given that chance to look at others in our community has made this a challenging time a little bit more bearable for me. I hope it has provided some relief and satisfaction for you all as well, and it's been an honour and a privilege to serve alongside each of you, and so I wanted to offer you my many thanks. It's been quite a journey, and I'm glad to be on the end of it, that we did it all together. Despite all the upheaval of the pandemic, the list of what we've accomplished over the last 2 years is impressive, to say the least. On Monday, I broke ground at the new Heffron Centre at Maroubra, a $58 million project that has been years in the making. It's going to be quite a celebration when we see the Rabbitohs move on to their new home in Maroubra, training and playing alongside our community athletes. So as you see behind me, we've got the jersey now with our Randwick sponsorship on the front. So go the Bunnies, and we hope they're crowned champions on Sunday. We've done a lot of campaigning on both behalf of our residents this term, amplifying their voices and protecting our communities from unwanted additions. Pleasingly, Meriton's high-rise proposal at Little Bay has been struck down. The Opal paper mill incinerator is looking shaky thanks to state government plan to ban energy from waste projects in the Sydney Basin, and a lot of community activation. I'll keep a close eye on the situation as it unfolds. We'll continue to campaign against the proposed cruise ship terminal at Yarra Bay. We've also celebrated, elevated many other groups within our community. We've done, in support of the Great Sydney Mardi Gras, our LGBTQI community residents, we've painted a rainbow at Coogee Beach Promenade. Continued our support for the black markets in La Perouse and celebrated NAIDOC Week. And celebrated 200 years of Greek independence by flying banners and the Greek flag for a week. We've also placed focus on buildings and improvements this term as a way of reinvesting into our community. We've completed work on the 14th and the largest stormwater harvesting project at Maroubra. And we built an outdoor classroom so that everyone can see the great work that is happening metres beneath their feet. We've helped Coogee Surf Lifesaving Club to receive the upgrade they truly deserve. Improved the outdoor gym at Clovelly and built the new ones at Malabar and Coogee. We gave the amenities at Malabar Junction and Yarra Bay a great makeover, and they do look much better. The boardwalk at Randwick Environment Park is about to be completed, and the outdoor classroom at Maroubra will be adding some great educational pieces there for the whole community to enjoy. Purcell Park at Matraville has finally had filtered water to irrigate the grass, and Pioneers Park at the playground at Frenchman's Bay have all been upgraded. I have no doubt the locals are taking advantage of all these during lockdown. And finally, one of the biggest projects we've ever worked on, we'll continue to do so for the next few years, in the rollout of Fogo food, organics and waste service. This was a huge project and involved hard work, expertise, dedication of several councils' departments, and the results speak for themselves. During the first few months of service, we saw a 70% increase in the amount of food and garden waste that we sent to be composted. In the 6 months, we have diverted more than 3,500 tonnes of waste from landfill. That's roughly equivalent to the weight of around 26 blue whales. And the contamination rate is a tiny 1.5%, which is a lot for our residents understanding how to use Fogo properly. The environmental impact of the change can't be underestimated, and I hope that, like me, you feel a great sense of accomplishment and you look forward to the Fogo program. We've done a lot of great things together, and I know we have a positive impact in the future generations too. I want to thank all council staff involved in the Fogo for their work at that. I'd also like to say that we, as a motion by Councillor De Rocha, that we produced a poster that you can see behind me. Councillors in the middle, thanking all our staff. There's a picture of everyone on that. I know it's not very clear, but it'll be hanging up at Town Hall. And it's a thank you of councillors and staff, a huge thank you to all our staff during the pandemic. So this leads me just to thank the rest of the people on staff that have made this an incredible journey. And before I say that, I give my thank yous, I also want to say a big, huge thank you to the unseen heroes and unsung heroes of our council. People like the librarians who know and really, we all see the big projects being built. We can see them, we acknowledge them, and we thank them. But underlying our best asset to this committee, to our council, is our community. And what our librarians and especially our community development team do to the vulnerable in our society is an accomplishment on its own. So this leads me to thank the GM, Therese Manns, Directors Todd Clark, Kerry Kiriakou and David McDiven, the con staff who we have a lot of fun together, Jill, Chelsea, Carmen and Josh, and my team, Tracy, Rona, and especially Kylie Craig, who without her help, I'd be like a fish out of water. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, Councillor Schultz. Thank you. So, councillors, I present to you that mayoral minute. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Can we speak to it?
If you
Yeah,
want to,
I've got my hand up to speak.
I think we want to
but-
speak to it. Yeah, I think Lindsay was first.
go in, let me just get my hands up situation. Councillor Schultz.
Okay, Lindsay.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. I really want to thank you for your mayorship in this. What a difficult time you have had being a mayor. I mean, not one mayor, previous mayor of Randwick, has had to go through a pandemic, and I think you've guided our team and our staff through a very, very difficult time. But also, under your leadership, I think one of the most exciting projects for me was Fogo, something great to my heart. And the success of that, I thank you and the council team for rolling that out so successfully, and with the recycling of all the old bins, which was a real problem for me. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hope you've enjoyed your ride. It's been a great one. Thank you.
And I'll see you on the beach, Councillor Shuri. Thank you very much.
As this morning, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Luxford.
Where am I? Sorry about that. My mute was thing. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to commend you for your leadership over the last 2 years. As Councillor Shuri mentioned, it's been tumultuous, to say the least. No one envisaged a pandemic to the proportions that we have experienced, and our community has been well looked after throughout under your guidance, your leadership. So I commend you for your term and wish you the best, and congratulations on your mayoralty, your past mayoralty.
Thank you. Oh, it's still there at the moment.
Good on
Yeah.
you, mate.
Or whatever.
Thank you,
Tell him
Councillor.
enjoy every minute.
Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I'd like to begin by acknowledging your distinguished service over the last 2 years. And before I go into what I think is so particularly impressive about it, I think it is worth the meeting noting your rapid rise both to the deputy mayoralty and the mayoralty in a first term of council. I think that is a feat which is rarely rivaled at Randwick Council, and I think you should be commended on that, just from that feat. But more particularly, I'd like to thank you for your distinguished service to our community. As someone who loves going to events, I can say that everyone who I've met who's spoken to me about the Mayor of Randwick, being you, has mentioned your everyday touch and understanding of our unique community, and that's a sentiment which is shared right across the community, from the surf clubs to directors' rooms. But more than just that, you've actually led our community through, and our council through, one of the toughest periods of our history, with the COVID-19 pandemic, 2 lockdowns, what will be 2 reopenings. And you shepherded us as well through the commencement of our largest project in Randwick's history. So they're just some of the achievements which stick out to me, and I'll touch on a little bit later. But I would like to reflect on when we were speaking about you first running for council, and I remember you being overseas and us discussing the prospect, and I believe you were visiting the Sistine Chapel, and if that is not a not a fitting setting for a political conversation trying to convince you of your merits as a prospective candidate, as a family man and someone who has deep roots in the community. I think that was a sign, if ever, when it comes to a setting. Whoever follows you will have big shoes to fill, because over the last 2 years, you have had a very consequential mayoralty that I think in Randwick history will go down as one of the longest in recent history, but also in terms of the very significant issues which we've been battling, and you've been on the right side of history on, whether it's fighting the destruction of a beautiful beach at Yarra Bay and the cruise terminal, whether it's sticking up for the residents of Matraville and all of the eastern suburbs against what is a pretty dreadful incinerator proposal, and for being a pretty instrumental player in saving Little Bay, at least for now. So they're just some pretty significant achievements which I think you can rest on, and when the final minute of your mayoralty ends, that there was not a minute that was not spent fighting for your community. And then the last thing which I would touch on as well is I think that you were a model for Labor leadership at Randwick Council, which put local communities, local services, as well as being an activist council on local issues. For that, I commend you. You've had a very distinguished and strong term, and well done, and you leave very large shoes to fill.
Thank you, Councillor Parker. I did ask for a divine intervention that day, and I'm still not sure whether I got it. But anyway, I was in the wrong room. Thank you very, very much. Councillor Bowen?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your mayoralty and really what you brought to the office. The office of mayor is the most dignified role in our local community, and it demands dignity, and you brought that to the role in spades. Everyone I spoke to would always comment on your approachable, unassuming, humble manner, and you've been a fantastic asset to this council across the board. I know we have our political differences, but I think the council would be unanimous in their absolute respect for you and the way you've treated everyone. And it's been very refreshing to see you in the role as mayor for these last 2 years, to see that the politics of respect, dignity, and treating people well are very much alive in this modern era where politics can be so ugly and off-putting. So I'd like to congratulate you. You have led the council through the most difficult time in living memory. I would like to see it go on, but I understand that that's not possible, and that, in my opinion, you're going out on top, which is the best way to go. And I hope that you get some time to relax and enjoy time with your family and your loved ones, which are the real troopers of us being on the council as councillors. So congratulations. You can be extremely proud of your time on this council, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Councillor Bowen. Councillor Stravinos?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your leadership during these very difficult times. Having stability in leadership during the pandemic has allowed council to not only continue to deliver the services that we provide to our residents, but has allowed us to deliver and continue to deliver massive infrastructure expenditure. When I think of your term as mayor, one word comes to mind. That is the word statesman. You were elected by the people, for the people, and weren't motivated by political self-interests and agendas. You have been motivated to serve the community and do what you believe is right for the community. That's what local government is all about. You will look back on your term and you will be able to proudly say that you delivered the largest infrastructure project in the history of the Randwick local government area, that being the Heffron Indoor Sports Centre, which I'm sure will become the jewel in the crown, not only for Randwick, but for the surrounding regions. People may be critical of some of the decisions you may have made during your mayorship, but what needs to be understood is that during COVID, spur-of-the-moment decisions needed to be made as circumstances changed very frequently. And I believe that you did your best to serve our community. That's all that can be asked. On a final note, I'll leave you with these words. When you come into the world, you come in with nothing, and when you leave the world, you'll leave with nothing. But the one thing you leave behind is your legacy and name as a person. And you, Mr. Mayor, can look back proudly on your legacy and the legacy that you've left for this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stavinos. Councillor Hamilton.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What I'd just like to say is that I'm not going to patronise your rapid rise, because you've been a member of this community for a very, very long time. You have made connections with people across all walks of life, from all political parties, of all cultures, ages, because you are universally liked. You are a very nice person. And so for you to become mayor, it means that you have navigated the political atmosphere around you, and you've done a fantastic job. And I know that it might be seen by others that that's quite threatening to them, that you are such a likeable and a long-term member of your own political party, but also of the community. And people that you went to school with still talk so fondly about you. And the reality is not a lot of people can say that they have people that they went to high school with that still talk fondly about them and still have a good word to say about them. So I think that you have earned this position. You have worked this position to the best of your abilities, and everybody sitting around here should be really so proud that you have sat there for 2 years. You've taken all the hits, just as the premiers around all of the states of the whole of this country through the whole of the pandemic. Everybody in power has taken a hit, and you have as well, and you have still stood up every single day, and you have stood up proudly in the face of all of the challenges and turned up for everybody, spoken at every event and done your best. And I think your best is it's really fantastic. I don't think anyone should either convince you of your merit, or that you were convinced to be here, that you were, told that you deserve this, because I'm telling you right now that you deserve to be sitting in that seat for 2 years. And I think that as a model for the Labor Party, is what I heard, then you should retain the position for the last couple of months before we go into an election. And I'm sad to say that that might not be the case. I think that you will be always remembered as one of the best mayors that the council has had, because of all the support that you've had from all the parties. And I think that that's something that no matter how long you hold the seat of mayor, if you can walk away from that position, if you can walk away from council, and people from all the political parties can say that they were glad that they sat with you in the chamber, then that's something that you take away for yourself. And I also would like to just recognise that your family is a fantastic family that have supported you, and we all recognise that our families have to be there for us, and your family has as well. And I'm sure that they're looking forward to having a little bit more time with you.
Thank you.
Well done, Danny. Fantastic.
Thank you. Councillor De Rocha.
Firstly, I met your family before I met you, because you're away, and that was while we were campaigning and we were putting things up, and then at election day. I've never met a family that's so with such beautiful spirit. I mean, your daughter, absolutely amazing. Your wife, I was helping her, even though I'm an independent, you're a Labor, helping her with your signs, putting in the car, helping her stack things up because you weren't there. And then she told me a little bit about you. And when I met you, I've always lived with the thing, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And Danny, I was so proud so early in the piece to call you a friend. People used to label us brothers, and through your whole term as mayor, whether it's the pandemic and, or no pandemic, you you have stood in such a high manner for everybody to feel that, you don't make people feel that you're better than them or whatever. You engage with everyone at all levels, no matter who they are. And my wife, she can't stop talking about you, as a person. I can't. We went on holidays with you, and we found that you're just this gentle man that has so much care factor for so many people. You've done a stellar job as mayor. I've been so proud, to see what you've achieved, and I've been so proud as a councillor to be right beside you, through thick and thin, through the hard times, the tough times, and through this pandemic. We've had your back, and we know that, you as our representative and a representative council have had ours. I just think, this isn't the end for you. There's still a lot more to come. But for now, I just firstly want to give you my condolences for Kim's father passing away. And I think that, for what's happening at the moment, you do need some time with your family. But I think you'll come back bigger and stronger. And I just want to thank you for your friendship and for your leadership as mayor.
Thank you, Councillor De Rocha. Councillor Matson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I hope this isn't the last time I call you Mr. Mayor. Your time may come again. Like all the councillors, yes, you were a wonderful man to have as mayor during this pandemic. I specifically am very glad for the solid support you've given me on other issues, most particularly heritage and the climate change issues. I thank you for that.
Councillor De Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Leaders, as you know, Mr. Mayor, need to have self-awareness. They need a degree of humility. They need to be clever. They have to have intellectual curiosity, have personal self-confidence, and the ability to work in a team. Mr. Mayor, you have all these qualities. Nelson Mandela said, "When you've done your duty, you can rest in peace." And that's exactly what you've done, Mr. Duty. And Mr. Mayor, you've done your duty to the residents of Randwick City. You inherited a job from your colleagues, a task which involves a lot of responsibility. And as I said to a former general manager of this council, and we're good friends, and I talk about many matters, he said, Danny Said Noel has evolved into the job. And that's what you have. I've heard others say about the pandemic and all the problems or the challenges, that's the word, the challenges that you had to face. Well, you did a great job, Mr. Mayor. You and me may have sometimes had discussions or may not have been on the same side. But when it came to community, when it came to the people of the South Ward, you can hold your head up proudly. You've done a wonderful job for Randwick, but more importantly, you've done a wonderful job for the South Ward. I wish you all the best. As Mandela said, when you've done your duty, you can rest in peace. And I'm sure you will, Mr. Mayor. Well done.
Thank you very much, Councillor De Souza. And Councillor Sang?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations for a job well done. When I think about Mayor Danny Said, I think about a mayor who's calm in handling difficult issues, in handling difficult councillors. We all know it's not easy to be the mayor. It's such a tough job. And I also admire you for your non-adversarial approach when you interact with us councillors. Mr. Mayor, I wish you could stay longer, even for one more week, because when I look at your background, you got the right jersey there for the Rabbitohs. And in October 2014, I had the honor of presenting the keys to the city to the Rabbitohs, and I just wish you could do the same thing again. Thank you.
I actually said to someone, I've got a great idea. If they win, I'll hand the keys to the city to the Rabbitohs. And I said, don't worry about it. Ted's already done it. Oh, okay.
The second time. Well done, Mr. Mayor.
You should have changed the locks.
Thank you, Candice. And last but not least, I've left you to last, Councillor Veach, on purpose because I really do want to thank you for being my Deputy Mayor for 2 years straight. And I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I don't know if most people know, but we have known each other before Council. And you and the family have always been very good to mine. And it's been a pleasure knowing you outside of Council and on Council. And I know you're very dedicated to your causes and what you believe in. So thank you very much for being my Deputy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I've been waiting very patiently as well.
Sorry, Councillor Andrews.
Don't worry about it.
I'm happy for Councillor
I'm a
Andrews
hand up
to
first,
go.
and I'm the game being left out, but I'll let it go. Don't worry about it.
No, Councillor
Councillor
Andrews,
Andrews.
I'm happy for you to speak. That's no problem.
I'm going by Councillor Andrews. I'm going by the side of my PC with hands up. And sorry, did you
I actually messaged you as well. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It's
sorry.
fine.
Sorry.
I'm very happy for Councillor Andrews
It's
to
his
speak
moment. Let
first.
him enjoy
No
it.
problem.
That's all good. I think everyone said all wonderful things.
No, Councillor Andrews, sorry. I only go by the hands on the side.
No, that's
Anthony,
okay.
say what you had to say. I'm sure it's
Everyone said that.
Nice.
Everyone said it now. It's all good.
okay.
Well, I'll speak, and then hopefully Councillor Andrews will speak afterwards. I'm happy for him to jump in. Councillor Andrews, did you want to speak?
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
It's all good. All
Okay.
good.
All right. Look, Mr. Mayor, it's been such an honour to work with you as your deputy. You've always been extremely generous. I've appreciated your advice and someone to have a sounding board off on many of the issues that have come up. As Councillor Hamilton noted, many people here tonight have obviously the pandemic has been an immense challenge, but actually there's just been so many. Not long after you were elected as mayor, Sydney became covered in smoke haze from all of the fires. And I remember from sort of late November, December, we were all wandering around in a cloud of smoke. And that was, a very troubling time as well, even though it was at Sydney's doorstep. It was something, it was a very heightened time. And as we got into Christmas and New Year, actually it was after New Year, with the awful fires. I know you were personally one of the people who responded, and our staff went down to assist many of those other councils over that period. And I think that's something that should be acknowledged. And I would also like to thank the General Manager and all those staff who were instrumental in that. Not long after that, well, actually around the same time, the COVID virus started to appear in Wuhan. It was all on our radar. Then somehow it jumped to Italy, and I remember at that time we were getting ready for the Spot Festival. Councillor Matson was emailing. There was emails flying around, and we had to make that call. I think that was the first big event that we had to cancel. And then, not long after that, Sydney sort of closed down, and then we had the whole beaches. And I remember that was such a drama, having to close the beaches. And that was a very difficult decision. You've had to respond and be very flexible and adapt and make some very hard calls as we were jumping in and out of lockdown and making decisions that were to have profound effects on the well-being of our community and also our staff, and showing that leadership to support our staff and keep on our staff, I think is such a credit to you. And of course, all of the councillors here, I would also very much like to thank the staff for responding with such adroitness and professionalism to everything that's been going on. I know your community, the community of Randwick, as has been said by all the councillors, holds you in the highest respect. I know the members of South Ward, community of South Ward, love you, quite frankly. And I haven't heard a bad thing, no one's ever had a bad thing to say about you, which is, quite something for someone on council. And again, the issues, Yarra Bay, you know, I remember the big forum down at Yarra Bay. We've had the buses, we've had Little Bay, we've had the incinerator. It's just been one thing after the other. And as you've represented the community of Randwick in a way that I think has made us all proud. So thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor Wooten. Councillor Andrews, apologies.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Obviously, you leave the best for last.
Exactly.
That's it. Let Andrew speak now. Come on, Anthony.
The young father.
I just wanted to congratulate you on your time in being mayor of this great city. I think this council has gone from strength to strength in the last 2 years under your leadership. I was quite shocked to have heard that there was going to be a challenge to your mayoralty this evening. As a long-serving councillor on this council, it was my view that the current mayor of this council should lead us to the next council election. It was unfortunate that the Minister for Local Government had announced the deferment of the local government council elections in September of this year, which has now led to an election of mayor and deputy mayor this evening. During times like this, it would have been the most appropriate and the most responsible thing to do is to have the mayor, the current mayor, continue to the end of the council term. I didn't think that it was necessary to this evening elect a mayor who really will only be in the office for 4 to 6 weeks before we go into caretaker mode. It is what it is, but Mr. Mayor, let's tonight celebrate your achievements in what you have done for our city. You've brought us through these hard times. You know, this pandemic has hit everybody in our community, in our city, and you have led us through probably the most difficult time this council has ever seen. And I commend you. I also commend the Deputy Mayor for her leadership in supporting you through in the last 2 years. And I also congratulate all my fellow councillors. We have all worked hard during this pandemic. It's been hard for all of us. We've made some really hard decisions, closing beaches at times, you know, now opening swimming pools. As Councillor Roberts said the other night, you know, the closing of a kiosk, what it's caused his young children, you know, not being able to get chips to eat. You know, I think that, Mr. Mayor, you have shown leadership. You are a true leader. You will be missed, but you will be around. And I'm sure you'll be back after the next election to serve your community in the South Ward. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. So, councillors, tonight we will be electing a mayor and a deputy mayor for the period of September 2021 to December 2021. And we need to determine the method of voting, and it would be between open voting, the traditional method of Randwick City Council, ordinary ballot, and preferential ballot. That should there be no one candidate to be duly nominated for the position of mayor and deputy mayor, then the elections are to be conducted by the method of open voting, show of hands in accordance with Schedule 7, Part 1, Clause 3 of the Local Government General Regulation, and names to be taken in alphabetical order. So do I have someone to move which way of voting, please?
Mr. Mayor, Councillor Andrews.
Yes, Councillor Andrews.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to move that we go into, but the election of mayor and deputy mayor be done by secret voting.
Mr. Mayor, I will oppose that, and I will put
Have I got a seconder
for the normal method of open voting.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor. I'll second Councillor Andrews, Mr. Mayor.
So firstly, I'll have to
I move an amendment, Mr. Mayor.
I think we have to take a vote on that, Mr. Mayor.
I think it's just as easy to take the vote, Councillor Matson, I think. And then you can foreshadow a motion, is that right, Councillor Matson?
I foreshadow that we will go by the traditional open method of voting.
Okay.
And I second that.
So firstly, does anyone want to debate the secret ballot motion?
Yes, I'd like to debate it.
Oh, I think just put it.
I can't
Just
support
put it, Mr. Mayor. There's no need to debate it.
I'll just put it. So all those in favour say aye.
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 That's 3. All those against?
No.
No.
Declare that lost. Do I have foreshadow motion, Councillor Matson?
I move for open traditional voting.
I
And I
second that.
Do I have a seconder, Councillor Shuri?
No, I tried to second it, Mr. Mayor. Do you hear me?
Okay, Councillor, I give to Councillor Nielsen for seconding if she needs to.
Yep, I'd like to. Thank you.
Okay, I
Councillor Nielsen
pass you.
seconded. I think I'll just any discussion or just put it straight to the vote.
Put it.
Put it.
Okay, put it. So all those in favour of the traditional method of showing of hands say aye.
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 Those against, I declare that carried. Now I'll hand over to the General Manager as returning officer to call for nominations for the position of Mayor and Deputy Mayor.
Can I just ask a question, please?
Yes?
It's possibly it'll be of the General Manager, please, Mayor. My question is, if the elections do not happen in December, does the election that we're having tonight carry beyond the decision, beyond December?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that would be the case.
Thank you.
So I'll hand over to you, General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I will reiterate what we have, talked with the staff with over the last couple of weeks. We really do appreciate, on behalf of the whole workforce at Randwick City Council, we really appreciate your support and the work that you've done over the past 2 years. It has been quite the challenge, but you've been a fantastic leader in that position. So thank you. So in regards to the election of the Mayor, I have received the following valid nominations for the office of Mayor. Christy Hamilton, nominated by Councillor Brendan Roberts and Councillor Ted Sang, and Councillor Dylan Parker, nominated by Councillor Kathy Nielsen and Councillor Alex Lutsford. Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Parker have both accepted the nominations in writing. And if there are no further nominations, I will declare the nominations for the mayoral election closed. Now, I just note that there was a hand up there. I better just double check. No, it's gone down. It's gone up. Councillor Roberts, did you have a question?
Yeah, could you just say that answer again regarding will there be another election for mayor after the LGA election? There will be, won't there?
Yeah, just to clarify, Councillor Nielsen's question was if there was not to be an election in December, if it was to be deferred further, would this mayor carry through? And that would be the case based on the 2-year mayoral term.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's moved.
Okay. So we do have 2 nominations for the office of mayor. So I will call for a show of hands for each of those candidates, and I will ask Mr. Kelly to put on the screen our normal voting division, just so that we can be very clear on names and voting. So firstly, could I ask for a show of hands for Councillor Hamilton? So if we could just...
I'm sorry, General Manager, do you want that electronically, as in hands up on the screen, or hands up, literally hands up?
Sorry, I will just work through, if it's okay with you, I'll just work through the screen. So on the screen we've got all of our councillors. So we've got Councillor Brendan Roberts. I'll call out the names that I'm hearing, and at the end I'll ask if I've missed anyone. So we've got Councillor Brendan Roberts. Do we have other hands for...
I'm there. Yes, my hand's already up, Mr. General.
Okay, your hand is up. Okay, so if I could,
sorry, General Manager. Sorry, I don't understand what's going on here.
Can we just go to a division, call for a division and do it that way?
Why can't we just say who's supporting?
Yeah.
Why can't we just tick
Let's
those
go for a
boxes?
division. It's clear then.
Call for a division and have the hands clearly identified. I think that would be
Going
the best
around
way to
sending
do
his
it.
hands up is on
Thank
a
you.
swift
We'll
way.
work through what's on the screen, councillors. So Councillor Hamilton, this is for voting for Councillor Hamilton as Mayor. So
Yes.
Councillor Hamilton,
Yes.
for. Councillor Shuri,
Against.
Councillor Nelson,
Against.
Councillor Veach,
Against.
Councillor Stavrinos,
Against.
Councillor Luxford,
Oh, sorry, for. Oh, against. Sorry. Councillor
Oh,
Barker.
like
Against.
First count.
Against.
You're not allowed to retract.
Councillor Seng,
In favor of Councillor Hamilton. Thank you.
Councillor Andrews.
Against.
So, councillors, obviously this is a very different election to what we've had before because it is online. With your indulgence, if I could suggest that this will be the vote between both Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Parker, so that given that there's only two, so Councillor Hamilton would be the for and Councillor Parker would be the against. So, Councillor Bowen.
Against Councillor Parker, voting for.
Councillor Matson. For Councillor Hamilton or against Councillor Hamilton?
Where's Murray gone?
He's going to abstain.
He's abstained.
Abstain. We shall move on.
No, I'm voting against Councillor Hamilton and for Councillor Parker. I apologise for being on mute.
Councillor Roberts.
For Hamilton.
Councillor De Rocha.
For Hamilton.
Councillor De Souza.
For Hamilton.
And current Mayor Danny said.
Against Councillor Hamilton.
So, councillors, I have 5 votes for Councillor Hamilton and 10 votes for Councillor Parker, which means I can now declare that Councillor Dylan Parker is elected Mayor for the term until the 3rd of December 2021. So congratulations, Mayor Parker, on behalf of the Randwick City Council workforce. We certainly look forward to working with you and supporting you during your time in office. Can I ask if you have any words, Councillor Mayor Parker?
Thank you very much, General Manager, and thank you for the support which has been provided from the colleagues. And for those who did not support me, I would just like to say that I would like to begin this period of the mayoralty with an open door that I would like to lead this particular council, taking into account all of the interests and the respective views from all councillors and across the community. It is my honour to accept and to have take upon this role as a Maroubra local who lives in our area, who loves our area, who works in our area. It is a great privilege. It is a great privilege to have become the mayor as a son of a small business owner and a nurse, as someone who is dedicated to making our area a better and a safer place, whether it's on the beach as a volunteer surf lifesaver or giving back to the next generation as someone who's training for a career as an educator. I'm really lucky to call Randwick home. I'm really lucky to be a member of the Randwick Council family, and I'm really lucky to represent our community. Once again, I'd just like to reiterate my thanks to Mayor Said for his service. He's really tapped into the vein of our local community, and we are ever so grateful for our service. Randwick, as has been said, has remained resilient throughout what was a very tough period, but I can comfortably say that we would not have come through nearly as well without his leadership. Over the next term, I look forward to three key areas. Reopening safely. We've gone through what is a very difficult period for our city, and supporting our sporting clubs, our cafes, our restaurants, our community groups that have been shuttered, and bringing people back together safely will be one of my key priorities as Mayor of Randwick. Another key focus will be on rejuvenating our area, bringing energy back, rejuvenating our nightlife, as well as doubling down on investing on our green space. We've all come to appreciate and love our green spaces in this very unusual time. And then the last point is demanding real affordable housing and fighting overdevelopment. And then the last point, we'll need to rebuild our community, whether it's our surf clubs or our historical societies. They'll all want to come back together again, and council is at the heart of that. We touch every part of our community, so I look forward to doing that with your help. As your mayor, I'll build on Danny's legacy, which he has shown with distinction as a leader, and we'll reopen strong. One last point which I'd like to touch on is it's been acknowledged that we are close to the upcoming election, and there are several councillors who are not renominating. Some of them very senior and long-serving councillors, elders of our community and of this council. I think of individuals such as Tony Bowen, who is a former mayor, who comes from a lifelong Labor dynasty, but who has been a servant of the Labor cause since he was a very small child. And I think that shows that he's dedicated his life to this community and to this service for so long is a testament to him. I think of Murray Matson, who is not renominating, who has been, while not necessarily in the driver's seat all of the time, has delivered more as a councillor than very many could say. Some out in the open, and other times very diligently working away with the staff. I think he's shown a very strong model of working closely with everyone across our council, but particularly with a strong relationship with our staff. I think of Ted Singh, who, as a Liberal elder, we didn't necessarily get along on all things, but was always open for advice and guidance, which I, on many occasions, took up. And sometimes it was solicited by me and sometimes unsolicited by me. But every time he hit the nail on the head, and I'm very appreciative of that. I think of Mayor Shuri, who was my first mayor, and a strong, progressive mayor, who remade the mould of what a mayor looked like, what a mayor sounded like, but importantly, what a mayor could do. And she will leave an indelible mark on this council. As well, there's Councillor Roberts, a straightforward family man who I think has given so much to our community, our business community, to young families, and a very valued perspective. So I come to this role with very big shoes to fill. I will not let you down. I will not let the community down. To all of the sections of this council, those who have been supportive, those who have not, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter because my door will be open, because we're all here for one place and for one reason, and that is to serve Randwick City Council. So in my view, is now when the hard work begins, and I thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. Would, before we move on to the election of the Deputy Mayor, would anyone like to speak? Councillor Bowen?
There's hands up. I don't understand.
Thanks, General Manager.
What are we using? Is it hands up by your hand or using the thing?
Just a hands up function, Councillor Andrews. Thank you.
I've had it on there for the last 5 minutes for anyone else.
Okay. Councillor Andrews, we'll go to Councillor Bowen, and then we'll go back to you.
You're handling the role beautifully, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to congratulate you and wish you all the best, and good luck in the days ahead, and well done.
Thank you. Could I now go to Councillor Matson?
Yes, Mr. Mayor Parker. Well, I congratulate you on this. I know that you will be following in the very big shoes of Councillor Said. Sometimes it's said that the gods curse the mayors of Randwick, but if so, you're going to have a very interesting time, I feel, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you progress. All the best.
Thank you. Can I call on Councillor Said?
I'd just like to congratulate you, and I know that you will continue the Labor values and the concern we have for the community. We're at a very time when we need to come out of the pandemic, and I'm sure your leadership and you'll make the right decisions where we can actually get this community back on its feet, and by Christmas we'll all be in a good place. So congratulations once again. Thank you for your help in the last 2 years. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much for your kind words. And I know as a team of councillors, I'm sure we can get our residents back out of this pandemic, and with your guidance, we'll be able to make even better things happen. We'll get there. We keep on going. So congratulations once again, Councillor Parker.
Thank you. Councillor Andrews.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I congratulate you in being elected Mayor of the City of Randwick. Like I said in my previous address to Council, I was quite surprised to hear that we were going to change the Mayor this evening. But I congratulate you, Mr. Mayor, and I look forward to working with you during these troubled times and getting our city back to freedom and normality. So I look forward to working with you the next 3 months up until the election to see us out of this situation we're in. And I congratulate you on your appointment to the chair of Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Roberts.
Yes, congratulations as well. Thank you for your nice words regarding me. And yes, tonight, since we're just voting for Mayor for another 6 to 10 weeks, I just assumed that the current Mayor would have continued, considering the success that he's enjoyed and the very good quality that he's done for the last 2 years. So I must admit I'm quite surprised that the mayoralty has changed tonight. That being said, I wish you all the best for the coming period, the next 2 months before the local government elections, and I certainly will be maintaining a strong interest in how you proceed with matters, especially considering the broader context of the local area and other members of the community and their interests as well. So thank you.
Councillor De Rocha.
Congratulations, Mayor Parker. You've worked hard. You've become a young leader of the Labor Party, and you display, such professionalism at each meeting. Most of all, I just want to thank you because we've got 15 councillors, and running as somebody's second, I always find that sometimes, especially as an independent, it's hard to reach out to anyone or have a chat with anyone. And there's been times where, even if I've been a little bit lost, it's not about votes or it's not about anything, and I was able to, give you a call. I like to think that we've had a conversation where it hasn't gone, one way or another. I don't believe it's been political, but it's actually eased my mind a lot, and it's actually helped me. I wish you the very best, and I thank you so much for not judging me as somebody's second, but judging me as Carlos. I've worked bloody hard, and to see somebody with your support that you've given me, I can't thank you enough, and I wish you the very, very best.
Thank you. Councillor Shuri.
I just not going to say a lot, but just to congratulate you, Mayor Parker, and I look forward to working with you as a councillor for your very, very short term. So congratulations.
Thank you. Councillor D'Souza.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to congratulate you on your position. I thought I'd be saying Mayor Parker from the first day of the new council. That wasn't to be, but you've got an opportunity now, and Randwick has a chance to see what can happen. You have experience through your association with the state government and, of course, your mentor, Michael Daly. I'm sure together you all will make a difference. I too have a mentor who's watching online, and I respect him, and he often shows me the way. It's important to have people of experience in your life. I think together you and your mentor will bring good things and great things to Randwick City. You said about big shoes to fill. You're right. And in Mr. Mayor's or former Mayor Said's case, they were very big shoes. I know, I've seen them. I think he's size 10 or something. But my favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. And in it, I think we're told that before you judge a person, you need to get in their shoes and walk around. You got to get in their skin, I think it was said. Mr. Mayor Parker, I'm sure you'll do a good job. You've got experience, you've got ability, but more importantly, you've got talent and desire. And now you have opportunity. And they tell me when opportunity and desire intersect, you have success. I wish you all the best and look forward to meeting you on the battlefield of elections on the 2nd of December. And I hope I do a good job and you do a good job and we get a good outcome for our community. Thank you, Mayor Parker. Well done.
Thank you, Noel. Councillor Veach.
I too would like to join my fellow councillors in congratulating you, Mayor Parker. I know you've represented your community, particularly the community of Central Ward and Maroubra in particular, with great dedication. You've joined the Surf Club. I'm probably one of the few people on council who know that your family background is quite closely connected to the arts, and I know personally that your father is a hugely highly respected figure in the arts, and his small business, Parker's Fine Arts, is treasured by the treasured jewel of the Sydney arts community. But you forged your own path. You've brought that background. You joined the Surf Club, and you've excelled. And you've excelled on council. I know you're one of the few people who will always pick up the phone. If you can't pick it up, you'll send a text. It's like, and you'll get back. I mean, I think the one time you didn't get back, you were in an exam. I remember at the beginning of the first term, you were, busy as a new councillor. We were all doing, seemingly 50 briefings a week. You're working in your day job as well as studying a law degree. You're carrying quite a lot of work. So you've certainly demonstrated that you've got the ability to deal with the huge workload that's involved in there and juggle those responsibilities. I think you have reached out to all the councillors here, and as I said, I know you're very well respected by the community of Randwick and particularly by Central Ward and Maroubra, and I do wish you all the best and congratulate you.
Thank you. Councillor Singh.
Congratulations, Mayor Parker. You are certainly one of our youngest mayors in recent times. I trust that you will be fair and professional in your dealings with your fellow councillors, irrespective of which political party they belong to, and with the community. Yes, we have had a few breakfast sessions together, and when I meet you, I would put aside our political differences, and you and we have something in common. We want to do what's best for our community. And I know you have that. You have the interest of the community at heart. When I first met you, it's not a question of if, but when you will become the mayor of our city one day. So tonight's the night, and on a personal note, I am very happy for you. In fact, I'm going to celebrate virtually with you tonight. I don't know if you can see this wine here. That the Randwick City Mayor selection has got my name on that, and I'm going to pull out later on because, yeah, like I say, putting our political differences aside, you do have an open door policy in the sense that when I call or vice versa, we always call back to each other and we talk about what are the issues that that the council is making and how we can further improve the services to our community. And we all know that without the community, we won't be here. Our community put us here, and we need to continue to earn the respect of our community. And I trust you will do that. Congratulations once again, Councillor and Mayor Parker.
Thank you, Councillor Singh. If there are no further speakers, I'd like to hand over to the General Manager to conduct the Deputy Mayoral election.
Councillor Parker, can I just finish off that? I think you've got the great
Sure.
honour. I don't know if there's another council that's got 7 ex-mayors on there, so I don't know whether to say God help you or you've got lots of experience behind you. But anyway, it's a bit of both. But congratulations.
For good, bad, or indifferent, I'll get
That's
plenty of
right.
feedback, and I appreciate it. And it's definitely a privilege. But I'll now hand over to the General Manager to conduct the Deputy Mayoral election.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we now move on to the election of the Deputy Mayor, and I have received the following valid nominations for the office of Deputy Mayor. Firstly, Councillor Carlos de Rocha, nominated by Councillor De Souza and Councillor Andrews. And secondly, Councillor Lindsay Shuri, nominated by Councillor Murray Matson and Councillor Philippa Veitch. So Councillor De Rocha and Councillor Shuri have both accepted the nominations in writing, and there being no further nominations, I declare the nominations for the Deputy Mayoral election closed. Now, given that there is only 2 nominations for the purposes of Deputy Mayor, we will work through using our division tool, and I will be asking that those that are voting for Councillor Carlos de Rocha will be considered for, and those voting for Councillor Lindsay Shuri will be in the against column. So we'll start with Councillor Hamilton. Would you like to vote for Carlos de Rocha? Or
That's
for
right,
Lindsay?
for Carlos de Rocha and against Councillor Shuri.
Thank you. Councillor Shuri?
For Councillor Shuri, against Councillor de Rocha.
Councillor Nielsen?
For Councillor Shuri.
Councillor Veitch?
For Councillor Shuri.
Councillor Stavrinos?
For Councillor de Rocha.
For De Rocha.
Councillor Luxford?
For
Come on,
Councillor
Alex.
Shuri.
Oh, Alex.
She loves me.
Councillor Mayor Parker?
For Councillor Shuri.
Councillor Sang? Councillor Sang?
He's opened the wine.
Sorry, I was
Opening the wine.
for Councillor De Rocha. Thank
Councillor Andrews?
For King Carlos.
Councillor Bowen?
Go on, Ed. Go on.
For Councillor Shuri.
Come on, Tony.
Tony.
Last vote.
Councillor Matson?
Tony.
Sorry, Carlos, this is the first time I've ever broken a political promise to anybody, but I'm breaking
Disgraceful.
it.
Disgraceful.
I'm voting for Lindsay.
Disgraceful.
Councillor Roberts?
To the People's Councillor, Councillor Carlos de Rocha.
Yay.
Councillor de Rocha? That would be a vote for Councillor
Carlos.
de Rocha.
Councillor
Sorry, yeah, myself, thanks.
Councillor De Souza?
To the People's Councillor, great Councillor, Councillor De Rocha.
And Councillor Said?
Go on, Danny.
Come on,
Vote
Danny.
for your mate.
Go to South.
Unmute. For Councillor Shuri.
Oh, Danny. I take back all those nice things I said about you.
So, councillors, there being 7 votes for Councillor De Rocha and 8 votes for Councillor Shuri, I declare Councillor Shuri the Deputy Mayor until the 3rd of December. Congratulations, Councillor Shuri. Councillor Shuri, would you like to say a few words?
Sorry, I had a bit of difficulty getting off mute there. Sorry, General Manager. Yes, just a few words to say thank you for your support. I look forward to working with Councillor Parker. It is only for 6 weeks. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with Councillor Parker and the staff for the residents of Randwick, which I have never ever ceased to do since I first became a councillor. It's residents count. It's Randwick first, and Rabbitohs second. Okay.
Oh, so... no. Rabbitohs first, always.
Thank you.
Like the motto of Randwick City. Prima sempre, always.
Okay,
first.
I've just laid my green and red, cards on the table. So,
thank you,
councillors.
Thank you, Councillor D'Souza. I call on Councillor Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I congratulate Councillor Shuri on your encore performance opportunity as a former mayor. You now get six weeks as our deputy mayor, so congratulations on that. When you were mayor, I'd just like to remind you and anyone else watching in, I was quite sick, and you came and had coffee with me, with Ray, and you're always checking in on me and things like that when I was doing my chemo. So I really appreciate that, and I'll never forget it. So congratulations, Lindsay, on your elevation for your encore.
Thanks.
And while I've got my little soapbox, I'd like to take the opportunity to also thank Danny for his mayoralty over 2 years. I didn't get a chance in the earlier part of the meeting to thank him. So I'd like to thank you, Danny, for your 2 years of service to our city. I'll say again, I'm quite surprised that you haven't continued for another 6 weeks. But that's a matter for the party that chose the candidate tonight on the Labor side. So thank you for your service to our city and your respect to councillors of all persuasions. Thank you very much.
I call Councillor Said.
Thank you, Mayor. So congratulations, Councillor Shuri. Your first year was truly, again, there was a lot of things happening when we all first started, a lot of new councillors at that stage. I think there were 6 of us. You led us through, and it was a very good year. And I always remember all your terrific work you did with domestic violence and women's issues. And you really do, when you grab a cause, you grab it and you head on there through with bite. So thank you very much, and I congratulate you for becoming Deputy Mayor, and I look forward to seeing you down at the beach now, and we can actually talk about things, and it'd be fantastic. I really congratulate you, and perhaps you might go back to the red glasses. I think you need to go back to the red glasses, and otherwise I can't recognise you. But anyway, thank you very much.
I call Councillor Hamilton. Councillor Hamilton.
Yes, thank you. I thought my hand went up a lot later than others, but that's fine. Well done, you. I think it's great. You can tick both boxes now and leave knowing that you've formed both roles. And I think it's great that we have female representatives, and it's been really fantastic sitting next to yourself, and I think that you did a great job as mayor as well. So well done. North Ward reps again, so good on you.
North Ward rules.
North Ward reps.
Thank you. I call Councillor D'Souza.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. I say Councillor Shuri is the true green. Reuse, recycle and reduce. And she's being recycled by her group to be the Deputy Mayor again, or filling the role for 6 weeks. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but at the same time, there was an opportunity for change. There was an opportunity to give someone else a go. I've always believed in sharing the love. I've always believed 6 weeks won't make that much difference. We had an opportunity to put forward a candidate, Councillor De Rocha, Councillor Roberts and I also subscribe to that, the People's Council. What a message it would have sent. But anyway, this council and this group have decided to reuse, recycle and reduce, because Councillor Shuri won't be in for another term. After the 6 weeks, she could reduce her hours and move on. Good luck to you. Good luck to you, Councillor.
Thank you for your acerbic comments.
All right. Thank you, Councillor De Souza. I'll call on Councillor De Rocha.
Don't be as kind as me.
You're on mute, Councillor De Rocha.
Just want to congratulate you on getting it. I wish you the very best. I hope in your heart of hearts that this is not a judgment against me, but something that you want to do. But I enjoyed your first when you first became mayor, and just hope that people start judging me as Carlos and not everybody second.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, Councillor De Rocha. And lastly, Councillor Veach.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate Councillor Shuri on taking on the role of Deputy Mayor. Like many have said tonight, it was a real honour when you were serving as Council's second only female mayor. It gave a lot of hope to women in our community. As Councillor Hamilton has said, it's really, really important to have female representation at all levels of government. It's actually really important because there's many issues such as domestic violence, which was an issue for local government to take a stand and support, give that support to survivors of domestic violence was actually really groundbreaking. I know it meant a lot. I've met particular individuals to whom that meant a lot. And so the same with marriage equality. That too was a big issue. And we now see the wonderful rainbow painted at Coogee, which the whole community has embraced. So you also took on some very challenging issues. We do need women, strong women who represent their community, who everyone can come to, male or female. And I know you will do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Veach. What we'll do now is we'll just have a short 5-minute break for anyone who would just like to have a break, and then we will proceed with the committees, and that will be the last item. So we'll just have a short 5-minute break, and we'll resume at 8:25. Thank you. Okay, thank you. We now have one more item on the agenda, which is the committee memberships. Can I please have a mover?
Yeah, I'll move, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, and could I just get clarification, Councillor Luxford, as what you're moving?
So I move the committee list has been circulated previously, or, earlier.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
I'll second
it. Okay, thank you. Seconded by...
It's Councillor Veach. Could I just quickly get clarification, because it came in quite late. I understand it's only, could you just clarify which positions we're changing?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a swap between Councillor Parker, or the Mayor, and Councillor said.
Yep. There are no other changes.
No other changes.
Okay, thank you. Were there any speakers to the motion?
No, leader spoke and Hamilton. She seconds it.
That's right.
Okay. If there are no other speakers, I'm happily to put it. All those in favour?
Aye.
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 All those against? All those against?
No.
Who's
okay,
that?
I declare that carried. There being no further business, I would like to close the meeting at 8:28. Thank you very much, councillors.
I have all the
Good
meetings.
night, Mr. Mayor.